and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing some cooking in the kitchen. So I figured I got this big old pineapple, so I figured I would can it so that way it'll last longer because I have got so much fruit here right now that I have to do stuff with. So the first thing I have done is I have gotten my jars in the water so that I can have them sterilized. I'm not going to be using all those for the pineapple, but I have the rest of my red onions dehydrating, so I will need the dehydrated, something to put the dehydrated onions in, and I have a few other things that I'm doing as well. Unfortunately, I don't have a pressure canner, which I am saving up to get that hopefully soon, because I want to start canning carrots and veggies and stuff. My son will only eat canned things, and I'm finding that when I do the canning with the jars in it, tastes exactly like how it tastes when it's coming from the can. So I'm going to try to slip that in to try to save us some money from having to buy all this food at the grocery store in the cans that's full of salt, and that way he'll have a better diet. So I've got my jars all ready to go. They're all sterilizing. So now what am I going to do? I am going to work on my pineapple. Okay, so I just had to sharpen my knife up a little bit, so I'm going to cut the end of it off. Yeah, that definitely was good because it cut it off. And next I am going to cut down the edges and get rid of all the bumpies. Yes, that's my son. He is actually working on schoolwork in the other room. His biology class, they have them reading, watching a movie and doing stuff based on the information that they're getting from that. So. So I have to get the core out, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up, because I'm going to end up doing mine as cubes, and I will cut off all these little pieces that are showing the brown, because my son will not eat it if it has any. It has to literally be perfect. It can't have any different colors on it or things like that. So I'm just going to continue working with this pineapple. Make sure you take the core out of the center and chop them up however sizes that you want. So I'm just trying to get it all chopped up into smaller pieces. So you do that, and I will see you after that's done. Okay guys, so I have my pineapple all the way down to the way I want them in the small tidbits, and I've got 5 cups of water here in the pan, and I'm going to add a cup of sugar to that. And this is basically going to be the syrup or the fluid that it's going to be in there. So I'm going to put that sugar added in there. So we are going to, there we go. We're going to cook it till it's high and so all that sugar is all dissolved in there. Let me show you. So we want to get that to almost a boil and mix it up until all the sugar's dissolved. And then we're going to add in, our fruit to that and let it simmer in there for about 5 minutes. So I will come back to you once that's all ready for the fruit to go in. Okay guys, so my water is about ready to boil. The sugar's all mixed in there. So I am going to add in all my pineapple. Of course I have it facing the other way so it doesn't splash at me if it's going to do that. Okay. So now we're going to cook this and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. And then it'll be ready to be put in the jars. And the jars should be done in just a couple minutes. So once this is all finished and ready to go, I will meet you then. Okay guys, so my pineapple is done and my jars are actually all finished as well. So I'm going to take my canning stuff out, and I have an area over here for it to cool down. And you'll see over here the pears that I did yesterday. Whoops. I got 2 things of pears, and we'll see how much this makes. I can't imagine it's going to take more than 2 jars, but I have other things I need to do with these jars as well, so I'm trying to make sure I have enough jars for what I'm doing. So I'm going to let them cool off, the ones I'm not using. Need time to dry. Okay, so next guys, I am going to put the pineapple into the jars. And once you get it all in there, you want to make sure that you have that 1/2 inch area at the top open. Don't want it to go all the way to the lid with this. Left over, so that way, that one I will probably just leave in the refrigerator. Just put some of the juice in here with it. Okay, and then we're gonna put the juice in. And you want to make sure you're using a knife or something to make sure that you're getting all the air bubbles out. You don't want any air in there. And double check to make sure I have that 1/2 inch clearance. Yep, that is good. So I'm just going to do them one at a time. I'm going to take a little bit of vinegar, just a tiny bit, not soaked, just wet. I'm going to clean around the rim. If you get any oils from your hands or anything on there, it won't have a good seal. And you want to make sure you're not touching that rubber part because the oil from your hands can affect. So that's one jar that's ready to go. I'll do the next one. This one I think I'm going to have to definitely dump some out. Okay, so I've got the clearance. And I'm going to clean the oils off. Now when these come out and they're cooling after you have put them in the water bath, you'll hear them pop. And you need to make sure before you put them into storage that you do check the seals. You can leave the rings on or leave the rings off. I have been leaving the rings off once I get them downstairs on most of them. But if it hasn't popped, you just put it back in the water bath and you do the water bath again. I had one of the pairs yesterday that didn't pop and I had to put it back in to get it to seal. Because if it doesn't seal airtight, then they're going to go bad faster. So they're not good for the storage because the air and everything is going to get into it. Okay, so I have my switched over to the bigger one because you need the water to be a couple inches over top of the jars. So I'm taking the larger one so that it's easier to get the water that high. And the water is over. I'm just going to make sure none of them fell over, and I'll put this lid on there. And then once it starts boiling, you're going to leave it in there for about 15 minutes. So I will see you after the 15 minutes. Okay, so I've let my cans go in the water bath for that 20, well, ended up being about 20 minutes, but 15 is probably closer, but I like to go ahead and leave mine a little bit longer. I had some issues getting the water to a boil. So now I've let it sit a few minutes, and now I'm going to take the cans out. And mine are actually using a rack, so I can actually take them all out at the same time. I'm going to let them cool completely, let them sit probably 24 hours, and I'm going to make sure that I put the dates on them, and then they'll be ready for storage. But I just have to wait to hear them pop. If they don't pop, they should hear a popping noise for them as the seal tightens up to keep keep them longer. So if you don't hear that pop on them, you always want to check them. You can take the rings off when it's all finished and see if they have done that. If not, you can just put them back in the water bath and do it over again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big old thumbs up and subscribe. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified about all my future videos. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.